Yo, what's up guys? It's Roseband and welcome to my channel. This was going to be a lengthy video, so please go grab your cup of coffee, your cup of tea, or your glass of wine, your soft drink, whichever you like to drink. Make yourself comfortable because we are still on the story time. This is the second part, so if you've not seen the first part, which is the application of the visa, please, I hope I can manage to put it here and then you can click on it and first watch that one, because this is the continuation. In the first story, in the first part, I just boarded my first flight from Nairobi Jomo Kenyatta Airport to Germany. And first let me tell you about the flight. You know, when you watch movies, right, and you are seeing that huge aeroplane fly, and I don't know, from my naive village girl kind of thinking, I don't know, I was very skeptical how this metal huge thing is really going to, I don't know, lift off the ground and fly over hundreds and hundreds of kilometers away. I could not comprehend this thinking. I was let me say, still very small-minded. And so we went to the airport. It was me, my brother, my uncle, and my cousin. We went to the airport on that night, and we were going first of all to do the check-in. And what happens, you go there, and we were flying with a suite. I was flying with a CSair. The first thing my brother asks me actually is like, where is dad's luggage? I'm like, what do you mean, where is dad's luggage? Because in his mind, there is no way I was going to fly alone so far away. My dad was gonna come with me. So you can imagine what he must have thought when he just saw my luggage, and my dad's luggage was not there. He was freaking out. What? Do you want to tell me that you're going to fly alone to Germany? I'm like, yeah, that's the plan. And he's like, how do you want to do that? You are just 18 years old. All that we know is from Meru to Nairobi, maybe to Machakos, Meru, Nairobi, maybe to Machakos. You've not even been out of Kenya. You've not been anywhere else in Africa apart from Kenya. How do you want to fly to Germany? My brother could not understand that. He was like, no, I'm not going to let this happen. You are not going anywhere. And I'm like, come on. I've already talked to my au pair family. They are going to pick me up from Hamburg. And then he was looking at me and he's like, do they know you? I'm like, I sent them a picture of me. They will know me. Do you know them? I'm like, they sent me also pictures. I have pictures of them, so I think I will be able to recognize them. And he was like, well, what if they confuse the day? You know, Germany and Kenya, they have different times. What if they confuse the time and they are not there when you're there? What will you do? Oh God, he was making me almost freak out. And wherever I was calm, I'm like, it will be okay. They will show up. I believe they will show up. And if they don't show up, I hope I can maybe talk to the police or someone at the airport. And there's like, maybe the German you learn in school in Kenya is not the same as they speak there. I mean, his reasons were quite legitimate, but I could somehow calm him down and tell him everything will be okay. And I'll call them as soon as I'm there, which is all a whole different thing. I'll come to that later. Anyway, so yeah, I managed to convince my brother, and my brother is okay, but please be careful. We go for the check-in. And the lady at the counter dares to tell me, I'm sorry, but you cannot. The flight that I had booked was having a pause in Brussels. And the lady tells me, I'm sorry, but you cannot have a break. You cannot land in Brussels because your visa is not for Brussels. It's just for Germany. I'm like, but I don't want to stay in Brussels. I just want to change my flight and get the next one and continue my journey. But still, you will be in that country, in the grounds of Brussels. I'm like, seriously? So they had a talk with my uncle and my dad, and they were talking and discussing, and I'm like, oh my god, maybe I might not really fly today. I might not fly today. I was saying to myself, I might not fly today. And my flight was midnight, so this was around 8 in the evening, and I was telling myself, oh Rose, you might not fly today. So they discussed, and then the lady said they are going to send some message to the airport in Brussels. I don't know what was wrong in Belgium, in Brussels, and then we had to wait. So after some time, the lady comes back and tells us, oh yeah, the people in Brussels said it's okay because in your visa there is some D. There was a D on it, and I was like, oh, thank God for the D, whatever the D means. Yeah, so I could check in, the luggage was put, and then I went back home at my uncle's place, because that's where we were having this big farewell party with my grandmas and my uncles and my aunties. It was like a huge thing. It was nice, actually. It was very emotional because my grandmother had traveled all the way from Meru to Nairobi just to say goodbye. It was really emotional. And then they all drove me in a van to the airport, and then there I was. I could see them all standing there waving at me. Take care, Rose. And it was crazy. Yeah. And then I went in for the first time, and I was like, I hope I don't get lost. One, you have to know I'm not good with directions. I'm not good in orientations and all that kind of things, which I need to be when I'm going somewhere new on my own, to a new country, people speaking a different language, people living in a whole different world. Yeah. So we were there waiting, and then we boarded the flight, and then I got my seat. I was like, okay, this is kind of comfortable. Yeah, so I sat down. And then the lady was there giving introductions. Everyone was seated, nice. I was like, oh god, I just want to see how this heavy thing, it was really big. I had not imagined that it's so huge inside. I don't know, I just knew it from so far up the skies. And there I was seated inside, and I'm like, how can this be that? Yeah. So it was huge, and we were sitting comfortably. I thought we were going to be like squeezed together in a small little thing, but it was huge, surprisingly huge for my 18-year-old self. And all of a sudden, we move, and it's moving, and I'm like, oh god, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. God has the control. Yeah. And then we are up in the sky, and what do I see? I see people starting to stand up. I'm like, oh my god, we are going to fall down. No, it was first one guy who removed his belt and just stood up and moved back, and I'm like, how? Why? Because for me, in my mind those days, I thought everything has been distributed equally in this plane, so that it has its balance, and anyone who dares to move from one position to the other, to move anything from one position to the other, is going to bring all this balance, all this equilibrium into chaos, and we are going to fall, and we are going to fall. So this guy moving backwards, I was like, no, why is no one telling him to stop? And all of us, there were 2 and 3, and so many people were moving around, and I'm like, we are going to die, we are going to die. But nothing happened. We were good, we were cool. Yeah, I didn't dare stand up though. I was seated there like I was glued to my seat, and we flew all the way. There was this lady giving us some blankets to cover ourselves. What I was doing is just watching what other people were doing, and I was doing the same, like opening this blanket thing, covering myself to have some sleep. Yeah, I ended up falling asleep a little bit, I guess. Otherwise I was unconscious. No, I think I fell asleep. Yeah. And then came the lady with the food. Then she comes and asks us, fish or chicken? So what she asked is fish or chicken. I don't like fish, so I was like, chicken please. And I was waiting for my chicken. So they brought us some rice, I guess. And I was still waiting for my chicken. For me, chicken has bones, really. Without the bones, I don't see the chicken. So they give us some rice with some stuff inside. So I ate the rice, still waiting for my chicken. My chicken was not there. They come, they pick up everything again. I'm still waiting for my chicken. And all of a sudden we are landing. I still hadn't gotten my chicken. Afterwards I got to know that there was some chicken breast in the rice. Not funny. Yeah, that was my first experience with the boneless chicken. Who eats boneless chicken? Yeah. So we landed in Brussels. I had maybe 2-3 hours to get my next terminal and to take my next flight. And while we were waiting, all the people there waiting to go to Hamburg, I was ready. By the way, it was winter, so I was ready. I was wearing my pulli, I was wearing pants, and I was wearing some shoes, which were like some white open shoes with such a heel. It was crazy, and my mom had given me that specifically so that I cannot step on the snow. Of course, when you step on the snow, you get cold feet. Everyone knows that. So yeah, she gave me those high. It was really like this high heel behind, and there's one. So it was like a plateau thing, but they were open toes. So these ones with the with the stripes, you know. Yeah, and I was ready for winter. So one guy seated next to me as we wait for the next flight in Brussels just looks at me and is like, you know it's winter in Germany, right? I'm like, yes, I know. It's like, I'm ready. He said, why are you asking me? Don't you see that I'm ready for the winter? Yeah. Anyway, to make the story short, we board the flight and we arrive in Hamburg. And we alight from the flight. I get my luggages and I'm like, I hope the family is there. I hope the family is there. I was not really sure what I was expecting. So I take my luggage and I walk outside. Oh, and there I see they're waving. Rosbeth. I'm like, they were there. It was the dad and the two kids, the 6-year-old and the 12-year-old girl. And voila, they were there. So we were all moving outside. The dad came, grabbed my luggage. He was taking, I hope the flight was fine, they were telling me. And I was like, yes, everything was okay. And they were trying to talk really slow. So it was like amazing. I could understand every German word they were saying. It was wow. So we go out of the aeroplane and there came the shock. In my life, I've never felt such a cold. I thought I was ready, but nope, I was not even close to being ready. Because as soon as we got out of the airport, there was so much snow on the way to the parking place. I don't know why they had parked so far. So we had to walk a little bit to the car, and on the way there was snow lying, so much snow. So with every step I step on the snow, my foot like sinks in and all the snow falls on me. My feet were hurting, like It's not cold anymore. It was pain. It was painful. So I was like, oh my god, I was not ready. How was it supposed to live the next 3 or how many months with this cold? How? Because I thought that was normal. Everyone was feeling the same cold like me. I don't know. On our way to the car, my little 6-year-old au pair boy takes the snow, folds it. He had gloves on and throws at me. I was like, what? As though I was not cold enough. Oh my, and the dad is like, wait, not now. Don't you see she's cold? And then he's just laughing. And then he's like, Schneeballschlacht. I have no idea what that meant, but I was just like surprised how white everything was. How white everything. So the first thing I did when he threw that ball was just to hold the thing, and I was like, this is snow. This is how. It didn't feel like water at all. It just felt like, I don't know, coconut flakes or something. It was just a whole different feeling. So it was so soft and so, I don't know. You know the way we imagine ice, like we have ice cubes and all that we put in the drinks? This was nothing like that. It was just a whole different thing. Yeah, so we got into the car and my dad was like putting the heater to the highest so that I can stop freezing, and every other minute he would look behind you, Rose, geht's dir gut? Rose, geht's dir gut? Anyway, it got warmer with time and we drove off up to Speck, and on our way to Speck we stopped at some tank station for you know, little girls' needs. And when we went to the bathroom, I finished the bathroom and then I was there trying to wash my hands. I don't know, then there were these taps. They had nothing to pull or open, you know, like we know how taps work. You put on, off, on, off. No. And I was like, I cannot go without washing my hands. I cannot go without washing my hands. And I was there fighting with my tap until my au pair little girl came out and she was like, Du musst nur die Hände runterhalten. She was laughing like a crazy person. And then I just put my hands under the tap and the water came and I felt like the idiots. But that was a memory that she kept talking about for the rest of my au pair time. Just like my little boy was making fun of me coming to Germany in winter bare feet for the whole of my au pair time. It always came up somehow. But it was fun. It was really funny. So yeah, that was the experience with the technology in Germany.